Hi friends, this is Pastor Lucas Pin and this is our snack for the journey, and we're starting another week and we're starting another book. One of the last book in the Old Testament. It's the book of Haggai, a very powerful prophet. And it's interesting because Haggai is a very detailed prophet. He put dates on his prophecies. A very interesting aspect, and it's very important for us to understand that Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, the last three books in the Old Testament, they are prophecies that came after the return of the exiles to Jerusalem. Remember that Judah was taken by the Babylonians, they destroy everything, and they took people to Babylon, and they stayed there for 70 years. And then finally they returned to rebuild the temple. And then later in the Nehemiah time, they rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. But the main goal for this first wave was to rebuild the temple. And so this is what Haggai and Zechariah came with their prophecies, because the people stopped rebuilding. They start rebuilding, they had some opposition, they stopped rebuilding, and they start taking care of their own lives. And then 15 years later, the Lord brings Haggai and Zechariah to the scene and say, hey, you have to go back to the purpose. The purpose for you to be here is to rebuild the temple. And you need to start doing that. So that is the context for the whole message of Haggai. It's a beautiful, beautiful story, beautiful message, powerful message. And then the people react, and so this is the background for those two books, at least Haggai and Zechariah. Malachi came later. Before I read the verse for today, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and to share this video with your friends and families and help us to bless other people. Verse for today, chapter 1 verse 2. Chapter 1 verse 2. Look what it says. This is what the Lord Almighty says. These people say, the time has not yet come for the Lord's house to be built. This is what the people say. It's not the time. It's the national procrastination, right? It's everybody's talking. We're going to do it. They went there just for that. They went there just for that. That was the call. When they were in the Babylon, they had their lives there. They lived there. They had family, business. They have everything. They were not slaves. They lived there. And God said, hey, we're going to rebuild the temple. Who wants to go? And then they signed in. Okay, we're going to rebuild the temple. And when they got there, they have some opposition. They stopped. And they start taking care of their own lives. And then they stop rebuilding the temple. And then the Lord has to raise Haggai to say, hey, the people are saying it's not time yet. It's not time yet. And how many times? How many times you do that in your personal life, in your relationship with the Lord, in your activities in the church? It's not time yet to go back to church, to get involved with the church, with the house of the Lord, to do this, to pray more, to study the Bible more, to read the Bible. How many times we are procrastinating our decision to do what God wants us to do, and to do things that we know that God wants us to do. If you are a Christian, God wants you to be involved in the church, to participate, to help, to pray, to study, to learn, to serve. You know that. But you say, but not yet. Not yet. It's not the time yet. It's not the time yet for me to go back to church. It's not the time yet for me to get involved with Christianity, with the Christian life, with the mission or ministry. It's not yet. Not yet. Not yet. In the future. Later, but not yet. How many times? That is the picture here in this book. the people are saying, the same thing that people today are saying. It's not yet. It's not the time yet for me to go back to church, to get active in the life of the church, in the ministry, to build the house of the Lord, and to help the service, the ministry, the mission. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe this message is just for you. We're thinking like that. Have the same attitude that the people at that time had. It's not yet. Not yet. So the message of Haggai is for you. God has a message for you. And this is what God's saying. This is what God is saying. The Almighty says, these people, He knows. He knows that He is talking to you. He is talking to you. The time is now. The time is now. And this is our snack for today. God bless you.